one to a teacher up here that's standing up here and just hand this to them, okay? Make sure that they all get one. And I'm going to ask somebody. So I'm going to have Mike join me up here. So I know some of you are thinking, who's this guy, right? Because you don't see him on Sunday. He is kind of a strange guy, huh? Right? Yeah, that's okay. He knows it. He embraces it. No. So Mike, did you just get in from camping, like this morning?
Last night. Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Sorry.
So he's somewhat awake. So every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, Mike also helped at the school this last year, helped teach Christian living, and in addition, every Tuesday and Wednesday, he goes over to the ministry center over here, and he sits from anywhere from 2 o'clock. A lot of times when he gets done teaching, he'd just go over there. And then he'd stay there till probably 6 o'clock on Wednesdays. He stays till 9 o'clock when church is over. And he does it, I have never heard Mike complain. He has never once complained. Because he is doing what he's doing for the Lord. And he understands that. So I have a special gift for you. You have a little bit more than a Starbucks card in there, just to say we appreciate you. There's something in there that will help you to get some more resources and tools to be able, because we need tools to work this soil and to help these things. So I thought, well, I'm going to give you that, but I also wanted to kind of give you some tool that kind of symbolizes what you need to continue to do. And I thought, I'm walking to the garden department and thinking, what would be a tool that you could use? And there is no greater tool, Mike, with the work that you and Nicholas are doing, and I have the same for Nicholas, but there's no greater tool than prayer. So what I have in here is knee pads. Okay? So that is your gift to remember every time you see those knee pads, ask myself, have I prayed? Because there is no greater tool than for what you're doing. So I so appreciate you. And make sure you mention Nicholas Mendoza. He's not here today, but he as well is continually pouring in, him and Sabrina both. So we want to make special mention. I'm going to have Julie Porta join me up here. Julie Porta is our children's director, pastor, and person that's really helped us. Julie has a call in her life to be a pastor one day, and she's begun preaching and doing some of those. She's been in the course of study, and we've shared many of that with you. And so one of the things that a pastor needs to do, it's one thing to learn, you know, the nuts and bolts of pastoring, and still be willing to do it. No, the nuts and bolts of pastoring, but it's also the practice, getting up and preaching and teaching and sharing and directing. And that's getting in the trenches and really working. And so Julie's been doing that. I'm fortunate to get to mentor her in that and help her in that journey. And so as a pastor, and I think before I give you the gift, I'm going to give you this. Julie has done everything. She sat before our board, and the board interviewed her and Kyle, talking to them about everything you can imagine. As a pastor, we must be totally transparent. And we have to share everything from our finances to our family to our faith and everything like that. And Julie has met those requirements. She has been approved by not just this local church, but by our district superintendent, Steve Scott, and by the general church, who has also confirmed her recognizing that she does, A, have a call in her life to be a pastor of the gospel, but as well as B, to be a minister at Stockton First Church of the Nazarene. So we are giving her today her first local minister's license. This is to certify that Julie Ann Porta is licensed as a local minister in the Church of the Nazarene for 1 year, provided that her spirit and practice are such as become the gospel of Christ and her teachings correspond with the established doctrines of the Holy Scriptures as held by this church. By order of the Church Board of Stockton First Church of the Nazarene, done at Stockton, California this day, signed by District Superintendent and our Church Board Secretary, Linda Rose. So we just want to acknowledge that that Julie is now a local minister. So, my gift for you as well, just like Mike, this will give you some stuff to be able to go and get what you need to be able to help continue to equip you. And I as well thought about what would I give you as a pastor that's coming up. And I think it's something that pastors and ministry leaders and teachers, we lose sight of all the time. We are a vessel. We are not the source. I don't care how close you get to knowing more and more about Jesus Christ. You may say, man, Pastor, you know so much about Jesus. You know so much about God. You are so close to God. I will never become God, and neither will you. We never become the source of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control. We never become the source of that. We are the vessel of it. So I was thinking, pastors struggle. Because pastors get depleted because we think we're the ones that are trying to save these people. We think that we are the ones that have made this seed and we didn't. So, I got you a hose. See, Kyle, it's not pink. It's blue. I thought you'd like that when you're out watering without a fuchsia hose. Hey, it's my wife's. It's a lesson, right? So every time you water or do something, a hose is very symbolic, really, because as long as you remember that this needs to be connected to the source, you'll have plenty to give. But when you get separated from it, somehow under the lie that the enemy is going to tell you that you are the source, you will fail. You will run out and you will be depleted. So I pray that for you. So I want us to give one last appreciation for all of our workers. Who is going to recognize our children. All right, we will move here, and will one of these microphones work for her?
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, James. All right, so celebrating our workers, thank you to all of you who stood up here from the bottom of my heart. You are here every Wednesday, Sunday, frantic text messages. I just appreciate you guys so much. Garrett shows up every Wednesday night and leads the kids in games, Nancy as well, Missy as well. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate what you do. So right now we're going to celebrate our kids. We're calling this our Promotion Sunday. We're going to honor those kids that are moving in those milestones for school. Okay, so the first group that I'm going to call up, these are kids who went to preschool or maybe had some preschool at home, but they are going to move into kindergarten, and that's a really big deal. Okay, so we talked about this already, right, guys? So when I call your name, I'm going to have you come on up, okay, and I'm going to give you your certificates. Right, bear with me, everybody, just a second. Yeah, you can pass now. All right, so let's give him a big round of applause. Kalea, will you come on? Oh, Aaron, is Aaron? No, the Haka kids are not here. Okay, so let's give him applause anyways. Aaron. Tesla, and Kayla, and Nevada. Can we give them all one more round of applause? All right, girls, just like I promised, there's the prize bucket. You get to pick a prize, okay? Pick a prize and you can go back and sit down. Okay, pick a prize. All right, so then our next group, go ahead, you get to pick a prize and you can go sit down, okay? Okay. Then our next group, these are our kindergarten graduates who finished kindergarten and are moving into the world of first grade all day. So here we go, we have Zoe. Is Zoe here today? No, Zoe. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, let's give a round of applause for Zoe. And next we have Aiden Piper. Come on up. And Aiden, you can stay right here really fast, okay? And Lacey Romero. And we also have Lily Sweden, who's not here with us, but can we give her a round of applause? And best for last, we have Jalen Strongheart. So Jalen, come on.
I'm really glad to announce these 6th graders that are going to junior high because now they're mine for reals. And we don't have a whole bunch of kids graduating from high school, thank goodness, because I really like to have them in. Anthony, come on up. 6th grade to 7th grade, parents beware. And Darren. Come on, Darren. Darren. Again, parents beware. They are now officially teenagers, whether they're 13 or not, they're still mine. Ben Higa is not here. He's going from 8th grade. He's going to be a freshman this year. And LaClaw. Oh, we missed Katie Swift. Katie, come on up. Come on up, Katie. From 6th to 7th. Junior high official. Lucky you. And LaClaw. I see you. You're going to be a freshman this year? Duct tape, woohoo! And of course, Abby Stout. Unfortunately, she is graduating for real. She's like an adult, which is a horrifying thought. It really is. I don't know if she was. And those are all of mine. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, and then I would like to have Sensei Richard Camacho come on up. I know you want to go some other kids to celebrate, part of our karate ministry. And so I will let Sensei Richard Camacho share that with you.
The mic only goes there.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, First Church. Thank you for partnering with us. We have a karate ministry, Senshiken Karate, and we actually have 3 students that back in June 13 competed in Sacramento. Just to give you some kind of idea what that competition is, it's not just a local competition. People from Hawaii came over, Chicago, Arizona came over, Nevada. People from down south came over. So it's a good tournament. In fact, 2 of the previous world champions were there. They were there, helped officiate the tournament. We have present and former team members, US team members who were there who competed as well. But we want to take this opportunity to recognize the 3 students, Shannon Syberts. Do you have your medals? No, you didn't bring your medals? Orion Syberts. So, we are very proud of their hard work, their perseverance, and all of their accomplishments. You know, it's so easy to give up when things get hard. It's so easy to say that it's good enough. You know, but in order to compete and do well, we have to persevere. We have to say, you know what, I want to do better. I want to keep on doing better. And these are the 3 life lessons that students at Senshiken Karate learn. How to work hard, how to persevere. Not only do they learn those things, other values, they also learn biblical principles and memorize verses. So, if you don't mind, I also want to give thanks to our volunteers, Dawn Syberts, Jason David, who's helping us. And also the past volunteers that helped us in the past, Roger Syberts, Ray Aviles, Adam and Jamie Romero, Nisha, and Aaron Steven. Thank you to you guys for here. But one last thing, if I could put a plug, I'm gonna leave some posters back there. If every one of you can take one, kids and adults alike, give it to somebody else. Take one and give it. Spread the word around. We would greatly appreciate it. Okay? Wow, Tigani? Right!
and then we are actually going to end with a baptism. We have 2 young ladies that are seeking to be baptized, making that public declaration before you all. We thought it was a great day to have any children that wanted to be baptized. There was no greater Sunday to do that than today when we're honoring all of our kids. And so as our candidates get ready for baptism, let me pray for all the kids, and let me pray for those of you that are here that maybe you're saying, man, I want to know more. I want to be that good soil. I want those things. I want to encourage you to find out. If you're good soil, go talk to somebody. Talk to me. Talk to a member of the leadership. There's plenty of things back there for you to connect with, to be able to ask some questions about some of the things that the story that Jesus was teaching so that it would impact our lives. And remember, what are we tending to? Some of us, you're trying to water seeds that are amongst rocks in your own life. You're trying to water seeds, but you don't want to get rid of the weeds in your life. And maybe you're sitting here going, I may not be good soil, but I think I'm the weeds or the rocks. I know I'm not falling on the path, but what do I do with that? Well, unfortunately, I cannot clean out your soil. But God can give you the power to clean out your soil. God can give you the power to remove the weeds, to want Him more than the weeds and the worries of your life. God can empower